So, what is Zeta Reticuli? Zeta Reticuli is a binary star system that can be found in the constellation of Reptilium and is visible in the night sky from the southern hemisphere. Zeta Reticuli is about 39 light years from Earth. What makes these stars really interesting is that, relatively speaking, they are much like our own sun, making them so-called solar analogs and of interest to astronomers who can compare them to our solar system's host star. Zeta 1 Reticuli has a mass equal to about 96% that of the sun and a radius about 92% of the sun. Zeta 2 is about 99% the mass and 99% the radius of the sun. It is slightly brighter at magnitude 5.22 and is yellow dwarf of class G2. So, the next question is, are there planets around Zeta Reticuli? Because the stars are similar to our sun, if an Earth-like planet were in orbit around the stars at the right distance, liquid water might be able to pool on the planet's surface and the conditions might be right for life as we know it to flourish. To date, no exoplanet has been confirmed around either star, which brings us nicely onto one of the reasons Zeta Reticuli is known outside of astronomy circles. The Benny and Barney Hill story. Zeta Reticuli is known among UFO enthusiasts as the home of a species of alien life forms who visited Earth in the 1960s and abducted a married couple by the name of Betty and Barney Hill. The interesting aspect of the Betty and Barney Hill case is that it wasn't initially their intention for the tale to be made public, but also that they were intelligent and respected members of both their community and also of the civil rights movement at the time. Consequently, they potentially had a lot to lose should their story have ever come to light. Their account begins on the night of September 1961, as they were returning to their New Hampshire home after having spent their honeymoon in Montreal, Canada. While driving through the White Mountains of New Hampshire, the couple say they were followed by an unusual light in the sky, and that they were able to use binoculars to observe that the strange light was in fact a flying spacecraft, and they could observe non-human life forms through the craft's windows. When they eventually arrived home, the Hills' journey had taken a few hours longer than it should have, and they had sustained minor injuries and cuts and scuffs on their clothing and shoes. Barney Hill began suffering from ulcers, which were diagnosed by their local doctor as being a result of stress, and they eventually sought the help of Benjamin Simon, a lauded psychiatrist who had treated World War II veterans for post-traumatic stress. Under hypnosis, Betty and Barney began to relay their story, which detailed their abduction on board a strange spacecraft and conversations with non-human life forms. While Simon remained skeptical about the prospect of their having been visited by life forms from beyond Earth, the psychiatrist would later comment that Barney Hill had undoubtedly experienced an extreme level of trauma similar to what he had seen while treating war veterans. The Hills had initially not wanted to make their story public, but it was discovered and reported by New York Times journalists and made headlines around the world. Betty later drew an astronomical map of sorts, which has since become known as the Betty Hill Star Map, that she reportedly seen aboard the spacecraft, which is claimed by some as showing that the aliens in question originated from the Zeta Reticuli star system.
Where was I already?
We're talking about
right,
and
so there was some paperwork that indicated that that this was from the Zeta Reticuli star system. Now, how they obtained that, I haven't the slightest idea. But it wasn't just from the Zeta Reticuli star system, it was what they called CR3, so it was a third planet in that star system. So there was no other information about it other than that's supposedly where the craft came from. Now, is that true? I don't know, I have no way of verifying that, but that was printed in the same materials that reference the reactor.
Which brings us now to Bob Lazar and the Bob Lazar story. Like Benny and Barney Hill before him, Zeta Reticuli also plays a huge part in the Bob Lazar story. Born January 26, 1959, Lazar in the 1980s was hired to reverse engineer alien technology. The work supposedly occurred at Site S4, located several kilometers of Area 51. Bob Lazar claims that he examined an alien craft and read U.S. government briefing documents that described alien involvement in human affairs over the past 10,000 years. One thing about Lazar claims is that he has no evidence of alien life or technology, and elements of his claimed education and employment history have been exaggerated or fabricated. Also, perceptions of Lazar have been affected by his criminal activity. He was convicted in 1990 for his involvement in a prostitution ring, and again in 2006 for selling illegal chemicals. Lazar claimed that he worked on a alien craft for approximately 6 months but could not comprehend the alien technology, and claimed that it was beyond our understanding and comprehension, and said that the technology is not of this world. Lazar was later released from the program after showing and telling his colleagues in the top secret program he was involved with. Lazar divulged top secret information, and the top secret company that he was involved with decided to let him go. Not too soon after his release, he received death threats from his former employer and claimed that the military company that he was employed by completely erased his employment and educational background, and erasing any kind of evidence that he was ever employed with this government company, or he ever worked at S4, or attended or received any degrees from the schools he attended. Even his birth certificate was erased. Personally, I believe Lazar, his story that he's been telling for 30 years has not changed, and he has been consistent for the past 30 years.